Right, it's a fabulous Friday evening, and hello, welcome once again to Game On, coming to you live from the studios of, you already know, this is New Central Television, coming to you on channel 422 on DSTV. My name is Babatunde Koiki. Thank you again for joining us for the Friday night edition. It is barely minutes away from that fight in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, between two of the hardest hitting men on the planet, Anthony Joshua, two-time heavyweight champion of the world, and Francis Ngannou, former MMA star. Both of them will be going head-to-head in just a few minutes. We'll be having a wonderful guest joining us live from Los Angeles. Nnamdi Hollywood Maweta will be giving us his unique take on how he thinks this fight will go and who he thinks will win. But before then, I have two great guys with me in the studio. Adebari, he's on my far right. It's great to have you on the show again. Friday is always a very interesting show because we have quite a lot to unpack and quite a lot to look forward to.
Definitely. So many things to talk about. Juicy topics as well. Yeah. So I'm ready to get into it.
Okay. And of course, Wale Adigun is here as well. He's always having very interesting. Wale, I'm just hoping that someday somebody will be waiting for you outside the gate after the show. So, Wale Adigun is here as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it's good to be a fight night and potential title decided weekend in the Premier League, man. Bring it on.
Oh, couldn't get any better. So, without further ado, let's start the show and start by telling you that the Africa Games have officially begun in Accra. Yes, there have been a few sports currently started already. There was karate, there was table tennis that started, but the games officially started today with the lighting of the official games torch, and of course there was a march past by all the participating teams. It was a proper formal start to the games, and of course it was most of the participating teams that we expected to be there are there. I'm just trying to check. I've been trying to check whether maybe we saw a contingent from possibly Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Don't forget, these three countries have actually been at loggerheads with the Economic Community of West African States. Ghana is a key member of the ECOWAS, so we're trying to find out if there are any contingents from those three countries, but we'll tell you at that particular that progresses. But guys, finally the games are here, official commencement, and it's looking really promising.
Definitely. I was very impressed with what I saw, talking about the opening ceremony. I like the way everything went. And so far, so good with the whole event going on. We've had no issues concerning, I think, first of all, doping. We had no issues with officials. We've had no issues with athletes. Security as well. No athlete is complaining about anything regarding officiating or maybe the way the games went or their events. So far, so good. Transportation as well. Honestly, when you have no complaints, in my own opinion, I think it's going very well. And visually as well, from what we can see, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, but you get the impression that sometimes what we see on TV might not be the reality on ground in terms of maybe the quality of the accommodation, the food at the official canteens for the athletes as well. But we're just hoping that Ghana can put together a great show.
I hope their Ghana jollof is good.
you just have to go there.
Yeah, but you mentioned doping, and that just reminded me a couple of days ago. I think South Africa's doping lab was suspended by WADA. So, and that is the only legit one you have in Africa.
In Africa, yes.
So if that has been suspended, there's a question mark on doping with the African Games. But moving on, you talked about political ramifications as well with Mali and Burkina Faso, Niger Republic. You cannot take that away because this is games organized by the African Union Commission. So it will be interesting to see if these countries fully participating in there. But all eyes on Nigeria for me, definitely. We've gone with about
358 athletes.
Yeah, we go there naturally with a huge. I think we've got the second most medals in the history of the games. I think behind Egypt.
True.
So there's a lot to keep my eyes on. I'm keeping my eyes on the football team. In case people don't know, we have not won football gold at African Games in 51 years.
Yeah, last time was 1973, but we'll get to that in a short moment. Let's just quickly show you the history of Nigeria at the Africa Games, and we've had a pretty decent one. Let's just quickly show you that Nigeria sits second on the all-time table at the African Games. We won quite a lot of medals, and so unsurprisingly, there you go. This is actually the African Games campaign so far. In 2019, we came second. We won 46 gold, 33 silver, 48 bronze medals. Our lowest medal finish, believe it or not, came in 1965 when we won just 9 gold, 6 silver. and 4 bronze medals. But our best performance was when we hosted in 2003. Everybody remembers that one. Yeah, Koja, where we had 85 gold, 90 silver medals, bronze medals, 65 for a total of 240 medals. A lot of people, we came first in that game. So a lot of people said that Nigeria manipulated the adding some games that were not particularly sanctioned by the organizing body to ensure that we boosted our medal count. I think it's, on my part, I think it's bad belly on part of Africa.
Definitely.
Because they also competed in those games as well.
Exactly.
Sports, yeah.
Exactly. And then when you think about it, we were the host nation. We had time to prepare our athletes for these events, for these tournaments. So obviously, you do expect, should I say, a team that has had almost like two to 3 years to prepare for it. You expect them to do well, and do well they did. If any other host country did the same thing and their athletes did well, I don't think there will be any complaints about that.
I don't think so too. But let's quickly show you that slide that we were talking about the all-time games record of Nigeria's participation at the All Africa Games. But we can also show you that, we can also tell you that Nigeria's best performing sport at the Africa Games is definitely athletics. We won the most medals from athletics, and it's not surprising really, guys, considering the fact that, I mean, Nigeria do have pedigree in athletics.
Yeah, but I mean, in the history of games, I mean, Olympic Games, championships, the athletics is termed as the blue ribbon. So it's natural that, if you do well in those sports, you'll be able to accumulate a lot of medals.
And then you see athletics, we've won 131 gold medals in athletics, 97 silver medals, 58 bronze medals, for a total of 286 medals from athletics alone. Boxing, unsurprisingly, comes second with 19 gold medals, 18 silver, 14 bronze medals as well. Badminton, big surprise for me. Another major medal winner for Nigeria, 10 gold, 11 silver, and 18 bronze medals. Chess is also in the mix as well. Football, and that's for men, and football for women, unsurprisingly, we've won that 3 times, so it's pretty not surprising for Nigeria. But as you can see on your screen, these are the major sports that have contributed the most to Nigeria's participation at the African Games. Okay, any surprises for you? For me, it's badminton.
I mean, badminton, well, sometimes when you think about it, you probably think that maybe the East Africans will have the upper hand, but it's a good thing that we've held our own there. But definitely, for me, I think the most surprising one actually is athletics. I thought maybe the East Africans will have the upper hand because of the long distance races, but definitely we are strong there. And then we surprisingly, football all the way down there in 5th position, between 4th and 5th. But I mean, that's not bad. But we have a chance to rectify things in a lot of other departments. Let's not forget that at these 13 African Games, we've got new events now, and we could use them to pad up our medal tally so far.
Okay, badminton was introduced by Nigeria in 1930, so it's a game with history, Nigeria. It's a game where we've naturally also had talent. Opeoluwa as
he did just early this year.
In badminton, so I'm not that surprised. But with football, because one gold medal, because winning gold doesn't mean all players get it, so it's just all true. So maybe we just have to improve on that tally at this game. Yeah.
Well, talking about improving on that tally, that is not looking particularly good. We'll talk about that later on in the show. But let's quickly tell you that, show you the medals table as it currently stands. And Nigeria features there, but one country that is top of the medal table, unsurprisingly, there you go. It's Egypt already with 9 gold medals, 2 silver, 2 bronze medals for a total of 13. Morocco in second place. Tunisia in 3rd place, Nigeria in 4th place as well. There's Algeria, Senegal, Libya, Burkina Faso. Thankfully, they are the games. There was no boycott on their part. The Republic of Congo, South Africa. Wait till swimming starts. When swimming starts, South Africa at these games. There's Chad there. Thankfully, they made it as well as Cameroon. So the good thing about it, there was no boycott from those 2 West African nations. We saw Nigeria also in the mix as well because they're pretty good in Taekwondo. But it's Nigeria, no gold medal yet, 3 silver medals, but no surprises early days yet.
It's a fake table, like Jose Mourinho always say. Taking on his playbook. It's a fake table because the bulk of the games hasn't started yet, so you can't read too much, but keep an eye on Egypt. Historically, they've won the most medals, so keep an eye about the other North African countries in the mix, Tunisia, Morocco. I'm sure by the time athletics swings by, the East Africans will take their place. Nigeria also will also show that it can get a lot of medals. So I'm not too worried about what we've seen yet.
It's early days.
It's early doors, but keep an eye on Egypt as well.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I think taking a look at it right now, it's not so surprising. I remember saying yesterday that most of our federation presidents did predict that Egypt was going to be dominant, and dominant they are so far. Are they going to remain on top of the medal table? Time will tell.
Yeah, well, most of those medals that Egypt has won actually come from table tennis so far.
True.
They won the men's singles, they won the women's singles, they won the men's teams as well, women's teams. So that's 4 gold medals that Egypt walked away with already in the African Games. So it's no surprise. But the big surprise is that they brought in a lot of young, talented players. Some of them are appearing at the African Games for the first time and doing pretty well. I mean, one of them, a youngster, teenager, accounted for Africa's #1. I don't know, country.
Yeah, and that is the way it should be. And that's why I was happy when the 12-year-old table tennis player came from Nigeria.
Matthew
Kuti. But we need to see more because I think the African Games should be the platform for them to be able to show the world. I don't think the platform should be for them to prepare for the Olympic Games. No, it should be a learning curve for young talents. I think Kofi Magan defeated twins, Mariam and were also young players for Egypt as well. So Egypt are looking at the future. Egypt are looking at the bigger picture. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we're on that same page. We are trying our best, but it's not holistic enough.
Somebody said that Egypt is spending the equivalent of Nigeria's football budget on table tennis, and that's why it's paying dividends.
Yeah, Tunde, it's evident. It's quite evident for me. You know, earlier in the week, I did say to you that, look, we need more of the Matthew Kutis. We need more of the likes of Haruna Quadri's son being embedded into this system. Honestly, we need more of them because if you don't invest in them now, what's going to happen in the nearest future when the next African Games come? You've got aging veterans, and then currently there is no transition to bring in the next generation into the fourfold. So what's going to happen to us in the future? Are we going to keep recycling the same athletes? Are we going to keep putting them against the best of the best at that point in time? Keep in mind that we still don't put our athletes in frequent tournaments. I don't know how you said it. He said one of the reasons why the Egyptians are so good is because they're always competing in the top tournaments. So when you keep rubbing shoulders with the best of the best, eventually you will get good as well. So we're lacking on those two ends, and I think we need to do better going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I agree because we do have tournaments here in Nigeria, but according to the gentleman here, it is not enough. We need to invest more in bringing through some of our top talents in all the sports, not just table tennis, even badminton, even chess, and even football. Because as it stands now, from the result that we had yesterday, Nigeria's under-20 men's team lost to Uganda by 2-1 in their opening group game at the at the Africa Games. It was a surprising result, guys. But considering the fact that this is a team that was coached by Ladan Boso, who I think this is his 3rd or 4th spell in charge of the under-20 national team, you would think that this team should be much better than this. And a lot of the players here actually went to the last FIFA under-20 World Cup.
Oh yeah, and actually it's the second stint. First one was in 2007. Then they got this role in 2020. But you mentioned Ladan Boso, and is symptomatic of what is wrong with Nigeria's football. You know, because he's been there, and it shows that we are not refreshing enough. We're not trying to regenerate. You look at this team, and honestly, it doesn't fill you with anything.
And that was the winning goal.
Yeah, and this team is supposed to be a team you look forward to take over from your under-23 team, and most importantly, the national team, the Super Eagles. But trust me, there's no player in this under-20 side that can stake a claim. I mean, Daniel Bameye came close because of his impressive World Cup showing, but there's also tailed off since.
There's also Adeshaun Zagada.
Those players have tailed off. These players are also in this game. They played in this game.
They did.
You know, and they didn't acquit themselves. I mean, how do you lose to Uganda?
Okay, I mean, those who are advocating that, the likes of Ladan Boso really have no place in coaching youth football anymore. They should probably go to the club sides, and the likes of the talented coaches that we saw that got to the semi-finals of the Viareggio Cup. You remember them? We had one of them on the show. The coach of Beyond Limits, the coach of Ojodu City. Ajibolade. These are coaches who their specialty is coaching youth teams, and in another climb, maybe the vast majority of this team would be made up of those same players who were at the Viareggio tournament, which is an under-19 tournament.
Honestly, as it should be, I was even expecting Wale to give Ladan Boso a bigger stick and maybe going harder on him. But you know what? He did say something, which is the fact that Ladan Boso is a reflection of the state of Nigerian football. Honestly, this under-20 team is a testament to why we currently haven't had a dream team at the Olympics in a while. That's a major reason, because if we're not investing properly in our youth system and doing what is right for them, equipping them with the right environment, equipping them with the right coaches, as we've highlighted now, there's going to be no future. And when we keep going for this tournament, we're going to be lackluster. And people are going to look, this is the same Nigeria that claims to be, quote unquote, the giants of Africa, but we're not showing workings.
Well, I mean, South Africa will say that, the ones saying you're giants. We don't regard you as giants. But let's show you the results of matches that were played yesterday in the men's football event. We did tell you that Nigeria lost their opening game, losing by 2-1 to Uganda. But sorry, that other result is not correct. It was actually Senegal that beat South Sudan in their opening game. So that's how that those two results panned out in a group. But today was Ghana's under-20 playing out a goalless draw with Congo's under-20 national team. So early days yet in the football events, but Wale, I have to ask your own opinion regarding what the question I asked up. Should we now be looking at specialist coaches for age grade tournaments for the under-17, for the under-20, and possibly even the under-23?
Yeah, I'm in total support of that. And I think just recently, the NFF was yesterday, put out vacancy for the Super Eagles and the under-17. Maybe they should also put out for the under-20. Because, see, you like it or not, these guys, this under-17, under-20 shape the future of our football. Ajibola is someone I know up close, and it's a specialty. That's what it does. And the question is, will they even think towards that direction? Because see, in the near future, when you have players from beyond limits, when you see them make up the whole of under-17 squad in the future, we start saying we say the ethnicity or whatever, but we don't know that this team or this structure has been putting in the work. But right now, Ladamboso, honestly, I think we need a refresh. We need to press the refresh button, and it's a shame that in 2024, Ladan Boso, who started out way back 07, who was Coach Wiki Torres, who took over from Kelechi Emefiele, who is even out of the football trajectory, is still managing on the 20 side of Nigeria. It's a shame. Yeah,
well, there's also women's football on offer at the African Games. Let's quickly show you that result as it's currently going on. Nigeria's women's under-20 national team, the Falconets, currently leading Morocco by a lone goal. That's heartwarming, because the men didn't do anything close to this, and the Nigerian the men's under-20 national team actually fell behind, equalized before eventually losing to Uganda. But if this result stays this way, that's a good start for the women's national team. And you get the impression that it seems that the women's national team situation is steadier from under-17, the Flamingos, to under-20, to progression into the national team. We've seen many of these players, the Onyenezides, the Deborah Biodu's, transit seamlessly into this team and into the Super. So why can't we replicate this for the men's national team?
Honestly, I have a controversial view regarding this, and I honestly feel that for the women, it's like there's less attention put on them, and there are less, should I say, external figures being involved in the way women's football is being run. So it seems like for the men, there's so much attention on them because of the type of prestige that we seem to have, and everyone has eyes on our football, on our men's football team.
We hear that there's so many agents bringing different players, giving them to coaches. There's players bringing letters from NFF board members and stuff. So I'm hoping that it's something that we can sort out, because it's very clear that there's no seamless transition from the age grade national teams as it currently stands to the Super Eagles. We'll take a short break now on Game On. When we return, we'll be looking ahead to that big fight in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It's Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. You do not want to miss this. Thank you so much for staying tuned. You're still watching Game On here on News Central Television. I still have the guys in the studio with me, Adebari and Wale Adigun. And together we'll be looking at our next topic. It is just minutes away from that super fight between two titanic giants, 6'6" of pure muscle. Anthony Joshua, two-time world champion, facing off against another monster. Talking about, there you see the two fine specimens of manhood. Look, whatever happens tonight, I know there will be blood, I know there will be violence, and somebody's definitely hitting the canvas. I don't see this one ending up in a draw. On your left is Anthony Joshua, like I mentioned, 6'6", 114 kilograms of pure muscle. On the right, 9 kilos heavier, 124 kilos, I believe, is Francis Ngannou, former UFC heavyweight champion, who had his first taste of boxing when he faced off against Tyson Fury in October last year, knocked him down, lost controversially on points. But guys, you get this, you get the impression that this fight tonight, okay, let me start with you. This fight tonight is a fight. It's a proper fight. It's not an exhibition fight.
No doubt. And then you could see the intensity in the stare down.
Oh yeah.
I could see the bodyguards close to them. They were looking forward to seeing if something was going to happen. They were ready to hold them.
They've been both been gentlemen throughout the entire process.
But then I take a look at it. I think Anthony Joshua honestly has been tactical in the whole of this preparation towards this. We've not seen too much from him in terms of his reactions to certain things that have been said in the media. And I think really that when we get into the fight, we might see a different side of Anthony Joshua, and he's going to give the fight to Ngannou. It's definitely going to be a mouth-watering encounter.
Oh, well, you get impressions that these two men are carrying sledgehammers in their fists.
Oh, yeah.
How anybody believes this will end on points. I honestly, I don't believe it. Anthony Joshua came off 3 straight wins in 2023. Yep. First with a win on points, then sparking Robert Helenius before also stopping Wale. Otto Wallin. But that first taste of boxing by Francis Ngannou, he surprised quite a lot of people with that performance against Tyson Fury.
I'm surprised that people like you are so getting overjoyed with just one pro fight from Ngannou.
Hey, look, wait, Wale,
I can't explain, and I mentioned it last time.
The man is a fighter. Whether it's boxing, whether it's MMA, he's a fighter.
But this will be 10 rounds of a fight under boxing rules.
True.
And it's only had one experience of it.
True.
And you like it or not, the inexperience is still going to show tonight in Riyadh. And that is why the stage is set for Joshua to win this and win this easily. Now,
easily, you say?
Now, yes, that's what I think about the fight. Because I was having a conversation with a couple of colleagues, and I had to ask them, and I'm going to ask you, when it comes to that one punch, who do you think, if he lands it, he ends this fight? Is it Ngannou or is it Joshua? Because I'm backing Joshua.
Both of them.
Although I think that Ngannou also has got a very, very heavy.
True.
In fact, statistically, he has one of the heaviest punches.
That's why I said both of them. So it's going to be tactical. Whoever lands first and lands proper could possibly end the fight. But Okwe, how do you think Francis Ngannou, who everybody sees as the underdog, would approach this fight? Does he jump on Joshua from the start, or does he try and pace it out and stay patient for an opening?
I don't think you can jump a super heavyweight. I think it's very, very difficult to do that. And then Ngannou has to be a bit tactical as well, because I see a lot of overconfidence and zealousness from him. But then again, I think he's someone who's also an experienced fighter, but not just in boxing. And then he would have learned a lot from the bouts with Fury. I think the bout with Fury also gave him a lot of confidence. He learned 1 or 2 things. But going into it, I think, first of all, he might want to just go for the knockouts. It will be beautiful for him. He's going to try to hit Anthony Joshua where it hurts, and maybe try and find a weak spot. Or rather, create a weak spot and hurt Anthony Joshua maybe in the 6th or 7th round.
Well, you're looking at these two men. Physically, they couldn't be even more different. Yes, they're big, but look at Ngannou, wide as a school, but the back of a school bus. Joshua a bit more chiseled, but plenty of muscle on both men. How do you think Joshua approaches this one?
Joshua's got rich. I'm sure that will also be a massive advantage for him. He's going to beat his time. He's not going to rush, because he also knows that the longer this goes, because of his inexperience, Ngannou probably gets tired, wears out. I know he's a beast of nature, but I mean, 10 rounds of boxing.
Aren't you being a bit dismissive of Francis Ngannou? People said the same thing against Tyson Fury. He hung in there for 10 rounds.
But Fury was in bad shape. Trust me. I mean, Fury on his day will knock out this Cameroonian. Fury was in bad shape. And
so you think, in your opinion, that Tyson Fury underestimated first?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Do you think Joshua will make the same mistake?
And he's not going to make that same mistake. And that's why I think he's going to play the long game. If he wants to play the short game, he's going to knock him out. But because his experience is going to take his time, he's going to weigh, he's going to take a look at, they're going to look at each other, weigh each other a couple of rounds. But I don't see this lasting the distance, honestly.
How does this one end?
He ends Joshua. I mean, I'm not even looking at this fight. I'm looking at the fight before this.
Okay.
Zhang and what's the
Joseph Parker.
That's the fight for me.
Okay, how does this one end for you?
It's a tough one, but I think I'll go with Anthony Joshua.
Okay, so the two men here in the studio are picking Anthony Joshua. I think everybody already knows who I'm picking. But let's move on. There will be matches in the MPFL this weekend. Let's quickly show you those games. The biggest one of them has to be the Southwest Derby between Remo Stars and Sporting Lagos. That actually takes place here in Lagos. But these ones are the ones that are going down tomorrow. That's Katsina United versus Heartland, Sunshine Stars battling Plateau United, Rivers United up against Kano Pillars, and it's Bielsa United versus Niger Tornadoes. Those are games coming up tomorrow. And on Sunday, it's Eyimba versus Doma United. Aqua United will be guests of Shooting Stars. That big game, the Southwest Derby between Sporting Lagos and Remo Stars. Two coaches who play similar formations, a 3-4-3. They'll be going head-to-head to find out who has the best 3-4-3. And the Enugu Rangers, who have been doing brilliantly well, 5 consecutive wins. They'll be looking for number 6 when they host Kwara United, while it's Abia Warriors versus Lobi Stars as well. Those are 2 good games to look forward to. But one game was played earlier today. Bendel Insurance scored 2 first-half goals to defeat Gombe United. I'm sure that Coach Monday Odige, his post-match press conference would have been a bit more, a bit more cooler than we are normally used to. So I'm sure he must be particularly happy tonight. Let's also move on to the English Premier League matches also will be played this weekend. None bigger than that game at Anfield between Liverpool and Manchester City. But these are the games to look forward to tomorrow. Manchester United versus Everton. But yeah, this is these are Sunday's games. Yeah, Aston Villa, Tottenham, West Ham United versus Burnley, Brighton versus Nottingham Forest, while it's Liverpool versus Manchester City. A great game. But we can show you those fixtures for Saturday. If you just go back to that, there you go. This one is for Monday. That's Chelsea versus Newcastle. Chelsea still struggling to get back into Europe at some way, somehow. We don't know how they're going to do. But these are the fixtures for tomorrow. Manchester United versus Everton, Crystal Palace versus Luton Town, Bournemouth versus Sheffield United, Wolves versus Fulham, and it's Arsenal versus Brentford. Arsenal hoping that Liverpool and Manchester City drop points so that they can capitalize on that. But Wale, great game at Anfield. Really great game. It might be the last time that we see these two men go head-to-head, Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola.
Oh yeah, it's a big game. And so 2 managers who have been on each other's necks. They've defined the Premier League title race in the last couple of seasons. But I'm worried for City's record at the Etihad, under Pep Guardiola.
At Anfield, you mean?
At Anfield. He's only won once there in 8. And
he won convincingly.
4-1. Yeah, but since then, he's had it very difficult. And Liverpool seem to have come to full strength. They were really good against Sparta Prague in the Europa League. Had the luxury of keeping Salah on the bench until he came on.
Van Dijk
as well. So they're much rested. But City also very well rested. Foden, Bernardo Silva, a couple of the senior players got rested in the game against Copenhagen as well. So it will be a very good game. I think that City are favourites as far as I'm concerned. But this is Anfield, and at Anfield, nobody comes in there and takes a win easily. So it's going to be very, very interesting, especially from an Arsenal fan point of view. You want both sides to probably share the spoils. Hopefully Arsenal does the job against Brentford and goes top of the table.
Okay, is it? Do you agree with him that it's Man City are favourites for this particular game?
Are they favourites? I'm really not sure, because at Anfield, and then when you take a look at it, Man City as well actually chasing down Liverpool. Would they have the upper hand? I don't think so. I actually think this game is going to end in a draw. Because I think both teams are going there to win, and it's going to be difficult. So it might end in a draw.
He's an Arsenal fan.
We'll see how that one pans out, but it promises to be a great game at Anfield. It's first versus second, Liverpool versus Manchester City, Klopp versus Guardiola. It might be the last time that both men go head-to-head, but we'll be looking forward to that particular match. Thank you guys for joining us on the show. Adebari, always a pleasure having you. And also Wale Adigun, looking bespectacled and looking respectable. But I do not trust you for any reason. But the guys behind the scenes, thank you as well for also making this show a great possibility. But before we go, let's remind you that way back in 1999, the 26th of December 1999 actually, do you remember this particular game? Chelsea became the first Premier League side to field an entire 11 made up of non-British players when they won 2-1 at Southampton. In goal was Ed de Hoyne from the Netherlands. There was Albert Ferrer from Spain, Emerson Thom from Brazil, Frank Leboeuf from France, Celestine Barbero from Nigeria, Dan Petrescu from Romania, Didier Deschamps from France, Roberto Di Matteo from Italy, Ambro Setti from Italy, Gustavo Poyet from Uruguay, and Tore André Fro from Norway. No English player there, an entire team of 11 foreigners. And the coach was the late Gianluca Vialli. And in his post-match press conference, he said, we're an English side of English and foreign players. As long as we talk the same language on the pitch, that is all that matters.
And that's why Chelsea and Middlesbrough are credited to being the first two clubs who started the whole foreign, invasion of players into the Premier League, alongside us also, the late 2000s.
Yeah, we really have to go now. But thank you guys again for joining us on the show. My name is Babatunde Koiki. Wishing you a wonderful weekend. We'll see you again on Monday for a fresh edition of Game On. Bye-bye.